If you're just getting into graphic design, you are at a really fun point in the learning process. It might seem intimidating at first, but pretty much everybody these days has full access to the resources, materials, and tools they need to do graphic design for themselves and do it well. But not everybody knows about the few key design principles that we're going to go over in this video. So if you're looking to elevate your artwork above the rest and give it that final push of professionalism and personality it needs to really shine, let's check out these 5 tips and tricks. Let's get into it.
If you don't already have a favorite design software, there are a ton to choose from out there. The link to our program Maestro is in the description below. Free, online, and it gives you access to a whole lot of templates, clip art, fonts, and more. Okay, let's design.
The first tip might seem a little bit obvious, but it's something that's super important to nail down early on. You have to tailor your design for its intended purpose.
So this could mean something as simple as using red and green and snowflakes if you're creating a design for the holidays. It could also mean not using fonts that are too intricate or hard to read if your design is going to be printed onto something small, like a sticker. If you're designing for a business or a brand, it's always important to make sure that your design stays in line with your brand image. A fun exercise to do before you get into a design or a series of designs is to create a mood board with a lot of different pictures and color palettes that inspire your design.
Tip number 2 is to include visual hierarchy in your design. This means more than just differentiating the size of your elements too. This product label by Boomtown Roasters Coffee is a really good example of implementing visual hierarchy in a design. The image on the front of the label stands out because it's not in color like the background behind it. And even though there's probably about 3 different fonts being used here, the thickness of the font is differentiated a lot, and it helps you know which pieces of text are important and which are just details. Tip number 3 is knowing the importance of negative space and using blank space in your design instead of overcrowding it with too many elements.
A lot of times it's very hard when you're designing to include all of the information you want to include, especially if you're doing something like a product label or something with a lot of copy. But not everything can make it to the final cut. Overcrowding your design can make it confusing, hard for people to understand or read, especially from a distance. It just gets really complicated, so it's better to use a lot of white space or negative space in your design so that the elements that are included stand out as much as they deserve to.
This goat milk soap from Kula Essentials is a great example of utilizing negative space in a design. We have some elements on the side here and some text in the center, but a pretty good amount of this label is just pure white. Tip number 4 is to be intentional with the colors you use in your design.
We have a whole video on the color wheel, color theory, and color psychology that is linked in the description below. This one goes a little more in-depth on the emotional effects different colors can have and why certain colors match and others don't.
These custom stickers by Mugs and Wildflowers are a great example of choosing a limited color palette for your design. Even though there's a pretty wide variety of colors being shown here with blues, greens, yellows, and purples, they're all subdued into this nice pastel, earthy palette. It really helps the design look cohesive and gives it a really nice aesthetic. Tip number 5 is to proofread. This is one I struggle with personally. Let your design sit. This doesn't just mean checking the grammar and making sure that all the copy is grammatically correct, but this could also mean just taking a little bit of time for yourself to get rid of the creative tunnel vision, spend a few minutes doing something else, and then returning to your design to make sure it looks okay.
It's just a good step to make sure that all of your fonts are right, all of your elements are placed exactly where you need them to be, and there's no other technical problems that you'll need to worry about. It's likely your design will go through a few different drafts and naturally evolve into its best version.
Also, let's check out our weekly customer creation. These are some really adorable custom printed bunny stickers by Honey Bear Studios. Don't forget to submit your creative product shots at the link in the description to get $10 off your next order. Thank you guys so much for watching this week's video. Hit like if you enjoyed, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more, and make sure to check out all of the resources and our social media links through the description below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.